Hi Brad, welcome to the show. Congrats on the start to the season. Just tell us, what's the latest news on the injury to Mitch Moses?
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Look, Mitchy's probably around that 2 to 3 week mark. It's more around scar tissue from a previous injury he's had there in the COVID period. So it's not as bad as we first might have expected. And, it's just a matter of a bit of time now. But, yeah, the signs are pretty good today.
So how do you cover for Mitch's absence? Who plays where, and do you have to change how you play?
We don't need to change how we play. We try to play off the back of our forwards, what they can generate and dominate. So whoever comes into the jersey will just have to play the role of the jersey, and kick well to corners. The support play will be huge for us. We've got a couple of options there. Tackers has filled in that role in the past. Jay Fields joined our club. We've got Will Smith, Jamin Salmon. So we've got a few options there, and then we'll have a bit more of a look tomorrow afternoon at training. But yeah, it's a couple of weeks, and whoever comes in, gets a really good opportunity for us. I
got the sense from Saturday night that Dylan Brown's also ready to step up. I mean, what impresses you most about your young 5'8"?
Dill had an opportunity in the COVID period when Mitch went down for a couple of weeks to steer the team around and take control, and he, it was a really good learning process for him, and the boys like what they've seen from him, and I think that's helped with his initial early form this year, because he's stepped up and he's been more involved and gone to the game more. The Dill's qualities is, look, he's a very good defender for a half and a kid. He's tough, competes very hard, and he's just really calm and composed. Nothing phases him. He can handle the pressure.
Brad, lots of talk at the moment around the game about the coaching carousel and what's happening at various clubs. And you yourself have been through a similar experience a few years ago. There's a bit of pressure on the Eels to I suppose, look elsewhere. But you managed your way through that period. How tough was that, and how do you get through a period like that?
Yeah, look, it was tough, and I'm grateful that the club showed belief and faith in me. There's some things that I got wrong, and I need to go away and improve and fix. To get through it, you obviously need strong support around you through your family, which I had, and friends, but like staff. In tough times, you find out some real resolve about people around you, and. Steve Murphy's been with me for the 7 years I've been at the club, and he's been a rock for me, and he helped me through that period, and as did some of the players like Clint Gutherson, our captain. He was really good for me, and I just knew that there was people that had my back, and there was things that we had to get right, and I was willing to look at it to improve. Now we're here, and we made some changes to our team as well.
So take us through those changes, because most coaches will tell you that good players make good coaches, and you went out into the market deliberately, and I must say the way you've rebuilt this roster is pretty impressive, and I think it's something a lot of people could learn from.
Yeah, look, first of all, we're trying to make sure we get the right people to our club and people that fit the style of footy that I like to coach. We like to play a high energy game, like to play physical. And I thought, the year that, we had a bad year in 18, and I just don't know if we were physically good enough and big enough. And so we recruited some size. We got Junior Paulo back. Sean Lane come to the club. And then now Ryan Madison and Reg and Blake Ferguson and Wonga Blake. Their body shapes are they're big, strong, physical men that are hard to handle, and I think that's made a big difference to our roster. And then some of the kids we got coming through, like Oregon Kafusi's a big, strong thing, and and obviously and young Dylan Brown physically, he's very good, and he can handle the week-to-week collision, and the style of footy we like to play.
So your big men are punching out big minutes, and I'm finding that hard to reconcile, particularly in the faster version of the game. I mean, how hard are you having to work your bigger forwards to get them to that level?
Yeah, look, it's a credit to those guys. Trent Elkin and Brendan Inkster, our performance guys, done a really good job with them this year in the pre-season, and very specific to what those guys needs, and a lot of short repeat efforts after once we get the K's in our legs, but the short repeat efforts. And I'm very demanding of our forwards, and often, Reg is always getting stuck into me, but you often take them just off to the side for a 15 or 20 minute hit on my own, where they're just hitting tackle bags, getting up and down off the ground, doing commandos, unders and overs, just stuff where they're just hitting the ground, getting up, hitting ground, getting up, just being able to repeat it over and over. And Trent Elkin done a really good job with our working everything to 52-second blocks in intervals, whether it be 2, 3 sets, 4 sets in a row, up to being able to work hard for periods of up to 5 minutes, because you don't get many sustained periods in the game longer than 5 minutes. So after we got the load into them, we've been very specific about their preparation.
Your players clearly love having Clint Gutherson as their captain. In your view, what makes him a good leader?
Well, what you see of Gutho is what he is. He's a doer. He's become better with his talk, but everything he talks about or demands from his playing group, he makes sure that he can do it himself, and he leads with his actions. He's become way better at, his communication. You got to remember he's coming up to 100 games this weekend. So. And I threw him in there before he played 50 games into a team, that we were struggling. So it's been a really tough ask for him. And the thing I also like about Gutho, I just know that whatever message, that we give as coaches, he drives right to the last degree, and he's right behind us. And that's really important and comforting for us as a team and the club.
The other player I think that fascinates everybody about the Eels is Mike Acevo. And particularly after his hit the other day on James Tedesco, he actually did the hitting with the ball in his hand. Is there anything at all that's soft about him?
No. Look, we've had to really pull back on his weights, because he's just, he's so big and strong, and he doesn't carry any body fat, and he's still running around 110, 111 each week as a winger. So it's very imposing and very strong in the gym. And so when the boys were doing 4 weight sessions in the pre-season, he was doing maybe 2 or 3 and a lot of extra conditioning. But it's a credit to him, and Steve Murphy, our assistant coach, has done a lot of work with Micah. And Micah's he's still his best footballer. I still think is still further down the track for him.
And can I ask who's easier to coach, Mike Acevo or Blake Ferguson?
That's an easy one. It's definitely Micah. Fergo. He takes a lot of energy, but he brings a lot.
And one more question now. I'm a huge Michael Jennings fan. He's clearly got a renewed focus about his football. But did I notice that his hair was less grey on the weekend than it was the week before?
Well, he cops a bit of stick about that, and I'm not sure if Jenko's a rinse man, but he reckons he's getting better with age. And I'm really happy for Jenko, because he's got a young family, and I think since he's had his family, he's really got a different outlook on football, and he's playing some really good football.
All right, Cowboys Friday night. What will they make for tough opposition?
Well, they played with a heap of energy and pride on the weekend just gone, and they're hard to handle. They're big and imposing through the middle, and obviously they've got one of the best middle forwards in the game. So, it's we can tell where they're going to try and take us on, and we're going to have to be physically very good to match them.
All right, Brad. Well, congrats again on the Eels' start to the season, and thanks for your time tonight on NRL 360.
All right, thanks, boys. Appreciate it.